Hi, welcome to Your Time to Shine with your hosts, Darlene and Julie.
Your Time to Shine is a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Darlene. I feel like I haven't seen you in ever.
A long time. I hope everyone's been enjoying the guests that we've had on and all the different topics that we've been discussing with or without each other. So tonight we are going to talk about being independently intuitive. And what does that mean? It means, what is the importance of tuning into yourself so that you don't have to constantly feel as if you need to look outside of yourself for answers. And why would that even be important? Well, if you're looking outside of yourself, the life you're creating is based on everybody else's opinions and perspectives. So you lose a piece of yourself and your life is not your own. And when your life is not your own, you veer away from your soul purpose and anything you may be asking for because you're living from everybody else's opinion. So, Julie, what do you think of that?
Yeah, it's very true. It's human nature, really, to want to talk to somebody else and get their opinions on things. I mean, I am 100% guilty of that. And sometimes when we look into ourselves for answers, we have to be realistic. We have to really dive deep to understand what it is that we want and desire and expect from our lives. And sometimes that's a really hard picture to take a look at.
It is. And what you and I did today, it was really helpful, though. So when talking about being independently intuitive, it doesn't mean not going out there and talking. Because what I did with Julie today is I have a couple of things going on in my life. And what I did was I talked with her, not looking for the answer, but as I was talking about it, I was coming up with my own awarenesses. So that was actually pretty cool. Because yes, it is so natural to just, okay, what do you think? What should I do? Especially if we had a friend who's gone through the same experience. But their experience, even though it's similar in some ways, is really not the same because we have our own energy behind it, our own conclusions or what we can put into changing something that may be different from what they've experienced. So still talking about it is really, really helpful. But when we go outside of ourselves, we're not connecting to that inner voice that may be telling us or warning us that something else might be better. I like to think that there's no right or wrong, but I do tune in and ask which choice would be a better contribution, a more fulfilling contribution to what I'm asking for.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and like Darlene said, it's not a bad thing to go and talk about it because we had a really great conversation, and Darlene was able to come into some really great awareness and come to some conclusions on her own about what she needed to do in this path. But it's more, what I was talking about was more about, calling up your friend and like you said, and you're in that situation and they say, oh, well, I think you should do this. And you go, well, yeah, I'll do that. And then you follow that path. And maybe that isn't really the right path for you or the decisions that you make. And, a lot of times we are our own guide. And a lot of times we can tell if the decision is right for us or not, just by the excitement or non-excitement we have with the whole thought of doing something. Say you're thinking about switching a job, right? So does the thought of having that new job, does that light you up and excite you, or does it kind of make you go, "Ooh, I don't know," and I don't think I want to get out of bed this morning. So those are clear, intuitive, internal signs that everybody should be paying attention to.
Right. And in those choices, being aware of, right, I'd like to change jobs, but your mother or your father or your spouse doesn't think it's a good idea. But you in your own body will get a sense of what job you would like to be living. You're the one that will have to be doing this work. And so when going inside and listening to your own voice, also asking these questions, okay, is that choice, am I making it for me? Or am I taking into consideration what everybody else wants me to do? And you know what? It's not always easy to do right out of the gate. So there's tools to use as far as trusting yourself and breaking that habit or choosing other people's opinions and perspectives less. What can we do? What is a strategy we can use so that we create that confidence in our own voice? So Julie, is there any one particular tool that you use as far as trusting yourself and not necessarily running out to that intuitive friend you have or your partner to hear what they might have to add to your decision making?
Right.
So when you're in the space of confidence and trusting your own intuition, what does that look like?
Well, for me, I can feel it. I can sense it in my body. I can sense it if it makes me almost like butterflies, right? If I feel like I have butterflies in my chest, or I feel like a balloon is being blown up in my chest, I know it's a good thing. It's a good feeling. It's a yes. If I feel it down in the pit of my stomach and like someone is just pulling me down to the earth, that's a clear indication that might not be the best thing for me, and I need to take another look at maybe why that situation is. Just because it's a no doesn't mean it's a wrong answer. It just means you may need to look deeper into the question, ask different questions about it. And sometimes I also do a muscle testing, use a muscle testing tool as well.
And what is a muscle testing? Because I know that's not something I know how to do. Mm-hmm. What's an example of muscle testing?
Well, there's many different ways and many different types of muscle testing. But one that I can easily show is you take your non-dominant hand and you make a circle, and you don't hold it really super tight, but you hold, you have a little bit of, you just hold them together, but it doesn't have to be really tight. And then take your dominant finger and make like a little hook. All right. And so if you say yes, 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 you should be able to pull through really easy. If you say no, 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 no matter how hard you try, it's not going to let you through. Now, the reason I say to test it first and say yes, 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 and no, no, no is because actually sometimes mine has reversed for whatever reason. So I always test the yeses first and the nos first to understand what it is. So if I were to say, my name is Julie, my name is Frank, it's so for me, that's a good way of doing it. So what I would do is I would practice on things that to be truth and things that to be false, just to get a kind of understanding about it.
Yeah, before asking it a pretty intense question. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great tool for somebody, just starting out who wants to build their own intuitive. It's like a muscle. It's something you have to build upon and make bigger and stronger. What I do is I sit and I close my eyes and I get comfortable and I ask questions like, what else is possible? What's going on here? What contribution can I be? And, I look for and ask any tension in my body, what's going on? And then I ask what that tension is in my body is telling me. Is that telling me that I'm excited about the idea, or there's something about it that's contracting me and wanting me to stop? And I love that idea of when it feels fluttery, like butterflies.
Yeah.
And that's something. It's what I call, that lights me up when I feel those butterflies. Right. When I ask myself a question and, it lights me up, yeah, I jump for it.
Yeah.
And if I feel contracted, like my body wants to close in and hide, I ask some questions around it, like why, what would be stopping me from this? Does that contraction, is that mine? Or would that belong to somebody else in my life who may not want me to make that choice? So, I ask questions around it until it lightens up. And so I use my body, in a sense, to build my intuition and to ask questions and to go with what feels lightest in my body.
Right. Yeah, so these are all different tips. The idea behind it is for us to show everyone that there's no right or wrong answer. And so whatever resonates with you, that's the way you should go. That's what you should use as kind of your intuitive approach.
Right. And also, asking, okay, is this mine or someone else's? So
exactly.
You can build your life and make your choices based on your own sense of what would be light for you rather than what would be light for other people in your life. We want to stay on our path. We want to do what fills our soul. And we can't necessarily accomplish that if we are making our choices based on what everybody else in our life wants us to choose. So that's our main intention that we hope that you receive in this. And what we're doing before we take callers, Julie and I started a Facebook group, Your Time to Shine. So what we'll be doing is continuing the conversation over in the group. If people have more questions about the topic, is what we'll be taking care of over in the group. And if you have questions about your intuitive gifts and the tools that we were just talking about, and if you have questions about, where you can find information, we'll put all of those in the group. And so that will be on Facebook. So we're looking forward to it. Yay! So we do have a caller, Angela in Brooklyn, New York.
Hi.
Angela, on with Julie and Darlene. How can we support you today?
Well, I've just been going through a lot since my husband passed 2.5 years ago, and I've been trying to go forward, and it's still difficult. And I don't know. It's just still been very hard, even though I'm pushing myself, and it's just like starting all over.
Mm-hmm. It is starting all over. So, yeah. Julie, you lost your dad a little over a year ago. So, what about grief can support Angela?
Right. Your grieving process, I know it's been 2.5 years, and in one hand, that seems like it's probably been a lifetime ago. And in some ways, it seems like it just happened yesterday. But It is basically when you lose a spouse, you have to recreate your life. You have to find new purpose for your life, and you have to recreate and redefine who you are. I know my mom is going through some very similar things as she's trying to recreate her and who she is, and it is very, very difficult. And so I would just tell you that you need to take your time, and it takes time to grieve, and everybody grieves in their own time, and there's no right way to grieve, and there is no right or wrong way to get through the process. And if someone tries to tell you, oh, it's been 5 years, you'll be over it in 5 years. Well, maybe some people do, some people don't. I am getting from your loved ones that you are really struggling with this. I mean, I see you trudging through the mud like you're in really heavy boots. But they're also showing me the sun and brighter skies. So, there's some brighter days coming ahead of you. But you do need to take your time to grieve and look at things that, like Darlene and I have been saying, that light you up. What are the types of things that you like to do? Is it having?
I have friends, and I have book clubs, and I go to classes, and I have my excuse me, my granddaughters also. Mm-hmm. So it's a different thing, and I have been, exercising and doing things to help myself. I can't explain it. It's just like it's not. I don't find like any joy. It's like I'm just trying to go day by day.
Right. You're still in your grieving process, right? You really are doing all the right things, and you're heading in the right direction. But you're still feeling, all of the loss, which is so normal. It's very normal to feel that way. So, don't let people tell you otherwise.
Because I know he's always with me. I know that.
Yeah, he's with you all the time. He's telling me that you can feel him.
Wow. Yes, sometimes I do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you, what I'm getting is, have you created something where he's showing me like a shrine? You can make something in honor of him, whether it's like a photo album or putting things together that you two like to do together.
I have photos. I have photos.
So there's something in this where you can still make him an active part of your life. I don't know. He's telling me something about creating a space that has things that he's touched. So something physical. So something you can actually touch yourself. So he's there with you every day, and you can. Do you get a sense of what I might be talking about?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I do feel like there's someone with me.
Right. So make him a part of that. Like, even, did you like to sit down and have a cup of tea together?
A coffee, yes.
Yeah. So do something almost like ceremonial, as if he was there. Have him still be participating in your daily life, because grief, everybody experiences it different. Some counselors might say, there's a letting go phase. Some people, we just all experience and have to go through it in our own way, like Julie was talking about. Maybe your way is having him participating in activities that you do because he's there.
Yeah.
So maybe every morning, start your day by having a cup of tea with him or a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Was there a special place that you guys liked to go? I'm being directed to like a walk. Did you guys do daily walks?
Excuse me. No, but we would go like for breakfast or Dunkin' Donuts or a diner, things like that.
Because it's connecting to what Darlene was saying as far as bringing him into your life. Because I'm seeing like you taking a walk down by a river and you're sitting on a bench and just kind of taking it all in, but he's there with you and it's like you are sharing this experience with him.
Yeah. Well, I do walk near the water and there are benches. He wasn't much of a walker.
Okay.
Far from
well, he's right
walker.
there with you now.
What?
And he's right there with you now.
And he's probably laughing. He knows he wasn't a walker.
So yeah, but some people will say do things and get on with your life. But for you, I think it's so important that he's a part of your life. And look to see where talk to him like he's there. Have conversations with him.
They're there. Please trust me, especially when I'm watching TV or when something happens. I'm always talking to him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I don't know if that's a good thing to do. If it makes it harder.
It will ask your heart. What is it? Who is it that's saying it's not the right thing to do?
No, it's me. Sometimes I don't know if that's hurting me or by always talking to him and always,
Well, the fact that he's there, I would make you take advantage of that.
I would agree on that one. I don't know that it can cause you any harm. I think if anything, he's showing me a heart that was broken and it's mending. So he's showing me that these conversations that you guys have are really helping you heal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, keep having the conversations, and day by day, it might get easier if you're not questioning yourself. So just keep having these conversations, having coffee together, and take it day by day. Keep doing some things that light you up, spending time with your family, but keep talking. He's there, so you can talk to him.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you, Angela. Have a good night.
You too. Good night.
So we have about a minute left. Julie, thank you. It's so nice to see you.
It's so great to be on the show with you again.
Being independently intuitive, it helps you stay on track and it helps you to create your own life. So if you'd like to go over to our new group, I still have to put a picture up and do some little tidbits, but if you'd like to continue the conversation, go over to Facebook group, Your Time to Shine, or you can visit our website, yourintuitivementors.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
And have a great night.
We will see you next Thursday. Julie, will you be here next Thursday?
I will.
Awesome. I look forward to the topics that come up and discussing them on air. And all the callers, the beautiful callers and listeners and watchers, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We adore you. Thank you so, so much. Thanks, Julie.
Good night, everybody.